Yeah, I thought watching the film of the game, I thought exactly what I felt coming off the field. I thought our kids played extremely hard. I thought they battled for 4 quarters. There wasn't enough execution on offense, especially on third down. Way too many missed tackles down the stretch on defense. The last two drives especially, I think, and just had some opportunities to make impact plays. Obviously, the kick return after the field goal, which would have put us in much better situation to score. Called back with a penalty. So I think all those things, coupled with playing a really good football team, you come out with a 17-7 loss. So kind of.
First, only one conference loss, so you still have opportunities sitting in front of you if you take care of your business.
Yeah, I mean every one of them is one at a time anyway. So we're worried about the next one and playing a team that can play really good defense. I mean suffocating defense. They played it against Old Dominion. They played it against pretty much everybody, the exception of Sacramento State. So everybody else they play pretty good defense.
Once again, another player noted with Alfonso being special teams player of the week. Very seldom we see those two punts he had. I mean, they just
Yeah.
died at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, I guess. But he loved that third punt back, I bet, though, the one that went out of bounds at 35, and
Right.
that was their first scoring drive. And he'll be the first to tell you that's not what he intended. So, but he did make up for it. He came back and really did a great job. From that point on of really putting us in really good position as far as where he's placing the ball. More importantly, where he's placing it. I think the depth of the kicks are important, but he was putting the ball outside the hash exactly where we asked him to do it, and that's critical.
This is a team that's been scoring a lot of points, and you held them to 17. So overall, defensively, he really stepped it up.
Our D line played great. I think they played their best game of the year. I think they held the point at the line of scrimmage for most of the day. I think our linebackers played physical, and they tried to make it a physical ball game with the second string quarterback in there, and I thought we did a good job of holding up and forcing them to throw the ball at times. And we were a couple of steps away from some huge plays on defense that I think looking back on it, I bet you those guys were upset they didn't make those plays. But it was great to see those guys play together as a unit. 11 guys were playing together. They were helping each other out. It was fun to watch.
The touchdown comes on a little bit of a trick play. Is that something that you guys worked on during the week, one? And then two, are there ways to maybe use more of those trick plays, get a little creative that you guys are looking forward to in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we got maybe a little too creative this week. That's kind of why I think we stalled, and we didn't stay true to who we were all the time, and that's my fault. I think as a coach who's an offensive coach, and I'm in that room every day, as far as what we're putting on the board, and we probably had too much in, and when you do that, sometimes you paralyze guys from going out and playing as fast as they're supposed to play, and we just got to do a better job as coaches of making sure we put our guys in great situations because, we are considered to be a young football team on that side of the ball, and we got to do a good job making sure they're in position to run around. But, yeah, I mean, every week we have a few of those in, and it's just a matter of sometimes they're up, sometimes they're not. Depends on how the defense comes out and plays us. And it was just set up for that. And they played the exact defense we wanted. That doesn't happen that often. So, we ran the trick play against Idaho, and they were in the perfect defense for the play. So, those things happen sometimes. But I think that, every week we try to get a little bit more creative with what we do.
Do you call the plays, or are you
No.
involved in that pretty?
I'm involved in the process, but no, Will Fleming is our OC, calls the plays. And I have input, in between drives and sometimes in drive, most times in between, though. I try to let him stay on his flow. And, but we all collaborate after. We talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, what we need to go back to, what we need to star on the game plan, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a collaborative effort, but I'm in there. I'm way more involved on that side of the ball than I am on defense. I know what's going on defense, but I'm not in those meetings every single day. We just do it one time a week where we talk about what we're going to do.
Homecoming on Saturday, is that any distractions at all, do you think?
What's that?
Homecoming Saturday, do you think it's any distractions?
I don't think so. I think it's fun. I think it's a great energy for our guys. I thought it was great atmosphere on Saturday. I thought, it's always fun to play in front of a nice crowd, and it was a nice crowd, and I think it'll probably be just as good, if not better, this week. So homecoming's great. I think it gives our guys a little extra juice. Guys, their friends coming back and, coming to watch the game and see them play and, hopefully see us play well. That's the most important thing.
Nearly 7,000 out there this past Saturday, boisterous, and that's what I like. Maybe a call here or there, they let it be known, and I like that from a crowd, the booing and stuff when a flag comes or doesn't come. I like the fans getting involved. Could you pick up on that?
Not really. I mean, the energy was there, but you can't. Sometimes you're just in the flow and trying to stay engaged with what's going on. You don't really understand what's happening behind you, but you could definitely feel the energy different for sure. And then when you look across to the visitor stands, which was a blank slate, again, the Lincoln game I think is obviously each week gets a little bit more filled up, and we'll hope the students keep coming out and keep giving us the support because we really appreciate it and we need them. We need them behind their bench, getting them going. So.
Have you met with the team since Saturday, and what was kind of their mood?
I saw them all this morning. They're pissed off and feel like they should have won the game, I think, and but shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We didn't, and there's no consolation prizes in these games. You either win or you don't. So we'll learn from it and we'll move on, and hopefully we don't let it beat us twice. That's been my thought process. It's been theirs. They worked real hard this morning in the weight room, and the meetings were sharp and crisp, and so we didn't have any issues there. I think the guys understand where we are, and right now every week's a one-game season. You got to go out and win that game, because if you don't, you're never going to have a chance at the end of the season to reach any of your goals.
A&M Commerce comes in. They're still transitioning from Division II. What concerns you about them? What are they going to show you?
Well, one thing is defensively, they are the real deal. They play suffocating defense, man, in pass game, in the run game. They do a really good job of switching things up on you. They got really good talent. I think that on the offensive side of the ball, they come up with different ways to get players the ball, which is always a problem because it's different every week. If it was the same and the same formations, you could prepare for that. I think a lot of times you see that. We're not seeing that when we watch the film on these guys. And then, they got some specialists that are pretty good. They got an Australian punter that can pin you deep, and their defense. If they pin you deep, they're gonna. They scored last week on defense. I think they're number one in the conference at creating turnovers. I believe they're like 2.5 a game. So we have to protect the ball, and we have to make sure that we, punt this week's not going to be a bad play. So we have to make sure that we're cognizant of that and not get overly aggressive and frustrated.
I don't know how much we're going to get into injuries and all that, but we saw Major go out in the first half. What's his status?
Yeah, Major will be out for the remainder of the season. So he had an ankle injury, and he won't be able to make it back. So that's a big blow for us from a leadership standpoint and obviously playmaking standpoint. But he'll be back, and he's an unbelievable guy. We'll have him with us everywhere we go. So.
Other than that, how's the team health-wise?
Pretty good. Yeah, I think we got out okay. Surprisingly for a real super physical game. Obviously guys are banged up, especially the O-line, D-line. Those guys play. They're in 65, 70 car crashes a game. So, but I think for the most part they came out good. We came out in great physical health, and get ready for this one.
When you watched the film, did you see anything from Robert's game that maybe working on this week to improve a little bit?
He missed some things, for sure. He missed some things. I think he got sacked early in the game, and I think that kind of had an effect on his footwork in the pocket, and I think he kind of felt a little rushed. There were some things that popped certainly that not only was his fault, but the fault of the offensive line. We didn't protect him good enough, and we had some pressure, and he got moved off his spot. Whereas I think, where Savant's breaking through the secondary wide open and just couldn't get the ball up in the air. And, I think Robert will tell you he just got to be better. It's just overall the decision making and, the ability to get the ball where the game plan is supposed to make it go. That's important. He made some great plays with his legs and improvised a bunch of times. And, even the throw to Kindon that, resulted in incomplete down the middle of the field, good throw, understood where the ball had to be. It's unfortunate that he got hit and dropped it, but I think Robert, I promise you nobody will work harder than him this week. Nobody.
You mentioned it, Savon. How big is it to just have him back these last few weeks and I think it's showed up on the scoreboard?
Yeah, huge. I mean, 90% of the guys drop that touchdown, and because that's a ball that's fading away, going towards the sideline, it's low, and he makes it look like a routine catch, and turns down the sideline and takes it the rest of the way. Which it's just great having him. He's a great presence for us. He's a mature guy. He practices hard every day. He's obviously team captain, so he's a leader. For him to be out there is really important. Just quality person. Glad he's having the success that he deserves, and we'll continue to try to find ways to get him and Andre and Kindon and Isaiah Jones the ball because those guys deserve it and they work hard for it, and we want to make sure that we reward the guys on our team that work hard and do all the right things.
You talked about him being a captain. I think we talked about this early on. The team select captains, how's that done? Are they game by game, or are they?
No, team selects the captains. We had 3 captains that received the most votes, and then we have a game captain each week that we as coaches pick.